Pastor Mark Biltz here from Shaddai Ministries. Thank you again so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and share. Also, please like this video, and we would love to hear your comments. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, and then what do we find? I'm going to go to this next little picture. Everyone would wear white on Yom Kippur. All the priests would wear white. Even the people would be wearing white, because we know white speaks, the fine linen speaks of the righteousness of the saints. Now look what it says in Leviticus 16. This is verse 11 through 14. Aaron is to slay a bull, and then he's to bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for who? Himself. This bull is not offered for his sons, for Israel. It is only for himself, because he is the high priest. That's why it's a bull. And he's to make atonement for himself, for his house. That's who it is for specifically, Aaron and his house. And then he kills the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. Do we get the idea the bullock is for himself yet? Okay, it's for himself and his house. Then it says he's to take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before the Lord. Okay, it can't be strange fire. It's got to be the fire from that fell from heaven that lit that altar. It's that fire. And his hands are to be full of sweet incense that's been beaten small. And then he brings it within the veil, and he puts the incense on the fire before the Lord, that the cloud of incense may cover the mercy seat that is on the testimony, that he does not die. Oh, look at all the little protocols. Even though he can come in once a year and not die, he still will die, even on that day, if he doesn't follow the protocols. And then it says he's to take the blood of the bull and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward, and before the mercy seat he shall sprinkle of the blood with his finger. How many times? 7 times. So I've got this picture. He's putting the blood of the bull 7 times. What's interesting about the mercy seat, you can see it's copper wrote. As you know, just like Roman numerals, letters or numbers, it's the same thing with Hebrew. And when you add up the numerical value of the mercy seat, it so happens it's 700, which is a very significant number. As you know, 7 is significant. And so here the number is 700. He's sprinkling the blood 7 times. Well, here's what we also have to remember. When Moses created the tabernacle, what did he use for a blueprint? The pattern in heaven. God showed him the tabernacle in heaven. Everything on earth is patterned after what's in heaven. Do you know what that means? That means there's a functioning temple in heaven, because the one on earth is patterned out. This is the shadow. Up there is the real. And so what do we find in the book of Revelation, which is in this other book I wrote? You see the Feast of Trumpets. How many of you heard of trumpets in the book of Revelation? Okay. You're going to find Yom Kippur is in the book of Revelation, and the Feast of Tabernacles is in the book of Revelation. It's all plain when you make the comparisons. And look at what we find. We just read in Leviticus that the high priest is taking a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar, and his hand is full of sweet incense, right? Okay. Well, let's go to the book of Revelation now. And look what he sees. How many angels? 7 angels standing before God. To them were given 7 trumpets. Another angel came and stood at the altar. Here it is. Having a golden censer, there was given to him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar, which is before the throne. So here on Yom Kippur in heaven, this is a Yom Kippur service going on in heaven. Okay? Now, it says the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints. As we know, our prayers are like the incense. So the prayers that you're making right now is part of the heavenly incense. Do you realize it? If you're not praying, you're not participating with the incense that's being put out up in heaven. And then it says, it ascended up before God out of the angel's hand, and the angel took the censer, filled it with fire of the altar, just like it said happened there, and then he cast it to the earth, and now we have voices and thunder and lightnings and an earthquake. Now look at Revelation 11. 18 and 19. The nations are now angry because God's wrath has come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and you will give reward to your servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to those who fear your name, small and great. And then it says, you shall destroy those who are destroying the earth. And then look, and the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of the covenant. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and earthquake and great hail. This is the day of Yom Kippur in heaven, which is why the ark of the covenant can be seen. So you can see a Yom Kippur service is going on in heaven. As a matter of fact, look at this comparison. In Leviticus 16:17, there shall be how many people in the tabernacle? No one in the tabernacle of the congregation when Aaron goes in to make an atonement in the holy place until he comes out. And has made an atonement for himself and for his house and for all the congregation of Israel. Well, now let's go look at Revelation 15, 6 through 8. The 7 angels come out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, having their breasts girded with golden girdles, and one of the 4 beasts gave to the 7 angels 7 golden vials full of the wrath of God who lives forever and ever, and the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power. Here it is. And no man was able to enter the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. Do we see any connections here? So the whole Yom Kippur service that's going on in earth is a pattern of a Yom Kippur service that's going on in heaven every year. And on Rosh Hashanah is the day of judgment, and the heavenly court is in session for 10 days until Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur, God has eyed every person on earth for 10 days to see whether they should live or die for the next year. And then on Yom Kippur, the books are closed, and God has decided who will live and who will die this next year. This is what goes on every year up in heaven.